Alright, here we're picking up where we left off on the last video. So I didn't have intros for it done because I thought it was going to be a shorter one, and it turned out being super long. Working my way through installing the Holley EFI and the Dakota Digital stuff on the truck as I can. Put a, I think it was like a 60 something, 70 something, somewhere in there, Mustang fuel tank in the back of here, and I'm going to pull the fuel sending unit out to put in the high pressure one for the Holley. And luckily this tank has a drain on it, so I'm going to drain it because I have no idea how much fuel is in it, because I don't think we've actually driven this thing anywhere in a year. Oh wow, that is in there. There we go. Actually, take that back. I started it and drove it in here. But fuel gauge doesn't work because, well, it's a Ford sending unit and a Chevy gauge, so they're backwards. Well, that's slowing down pretty quick. It's good news. Oh, I guess it's just plugging. So I might have to come up with another jug. Right side, I think I'll leave it doing the glugging. That way, if I gotta put the plug in, I'll come up with another jug. I got a slow spot I can do it at. Sounds pretty low. That must be kind of plugged. I even have that in screen? Apparently not. Really not good at this. I just give up. Alright. I don't think I need to watch the rest of that. It's just trickling out now, so I think we might be low enough we can go ahead and start getting the sending unit out. Just gotta disconnect the wire for the fuel level. There's my screwdriver. Get the clamp off. All this fuel hose is gonna have to be replaced. What's this light on? Maybe over there. Because it's low pressure, carbureted. There, okay, if it stays right there, we'll put it right there. And then now, let's see if we can not make a spark so we don't blow up. Well, at least with it being only a couple of years old, it's coming out pretty easy. Oh! Splashed right in the air. Oh, that's nice. It was a brand new sending unit when I put it in. I think it was off of eBay or Amazon, but the float's got fuel in it. Alright, let me go get it. Okay. Climb back in here. Alright. Oh, I probably should have done this out of the car, but out of the truck, so you can see it better. This is the Holley unit we're replacing it with. It's essentially meant to be a direct replacement. So if you had a, you know, what was it? I guess I just looked the stuff up so I put the right float on it because it came with 3 different floats. if you had a 69 Cougar or Mustang or, you know, get that socket there straight. And you're not supposed to cut it. Oh, yeah, rubber fell off while I was gone. You can go to EFI because it's got the pump and the regulators right here, so it automatically regulates it at, I think, the 58 psi the system requires. And according to the instructions, once you get that in, there we go. And then once you rotate to here, supposedly, I don't know what kind of crack they're smoking. Huh. Well, maybe they just gotta go further because the instructions said once you get these bolts in there is when you start putting that through. But I'm having some difficulties in getting to that point. Maybe if I go up. Alright, I got that part in. I may need to re-look at the instructions, because it said when these screws go in, that's when you want this to feed this in, but that's not gonna work. You gotta get it feeding in there sooner somehow. It's way over there, and it can't be on backwards. Well, I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna remove this. I'll go regret it later, but for now, that seems like the only way. And then I'm gonna stick it in here. Stick it in here. There we go. And then don't drop it in the tank. That's the only thing not to do right now. Well, I don't know if that's technically the right way to do it, but that's the way I did it. Yep, saying you can't get it wrong, because there's a tab right here and right there that have to go in their homes. So, there we go. Ah, crap. I gotta pull it back out a little bit. The seal fell out. I'm actually gonna go get the new seal and the new retainer that I forgot to grab. Alright, I'm back. Slide the new seal up. Unfortunately, I'm gonna pull this back out. Put the seal behind it. At least we know we're hitting the fuel. It keeps making splashy sounds. Well, getting the seal to stay in the right spot appears to be what's going to be the hard spot here. think I'm gonna get a little bit of silicone, dab it in there just to hold the fucking thing so I can get it in there. I thought about using grease to hold it in there, but the problem if I use grease and it's not sticky enough to hold the seal up there, then my RTV's not gonna hold it up there either without really cleaning the grease off. For a minute there, I thought I forgot the seal outside, but it's sitting right here. There, yeah, smash it. Get it all in the right groove. Looks like it. There we go. Problem solved with that. Okay, we got that side in. Apparently that O-ring makes it a lot harder to get this in. Pry and stick go. There we go. Just had to open her up a little bit, I guess. I don't even know if this is the old or new one anymore. It really doesn't matter. They're both pretty new. And at this point, I just want it to go in. Whoops. There we go. Some more driving home. Call that good. Okay. So we got that in. Now this pigtail here, it's got 4 wires, and well, I only had 1 before, so I'm gonna have to run. This should be the ground for the gauge, or the signal of the gauge. I'm gonna have to run a power for the gauge, and then the power for the fuel pump, but that's... Gotta run the rest of that wiring first. And then do some investigating. Because, feel me down here. Grab the light. Grab the light. So what I did when I wired it up, you can see it across the back there maybe, and over there, is I took a 7 wire loom. I can't even see if it's pointing the right thing. I gotta reposition. There we go. Took a 7 wire loom and ran it all the way from the front to the back. So now I just gotta go through, and I know I've got at least 1 pulled out for the black one for that ground. Then I'll have to go through and see. There should actually be at least 1 more of blue. Because you got running lights, ground, come on brain, right and left. What's the red doing? Is it just hanging out? Did I just not cut it? So I'm not using red over here. I'm not using red over there. So maybe I'll have a red wire available as well. I think I can make it work if I've got red and blue and black. Should probably have a 4th. I have to look at the instructions on how that stuff wants to work, because if it wants a ground, then I can take the one it wants for a ground and just ground it to the chassis, and then use the other 3 for the well, yeah, signal, and then power and ground for the pump. So off camera, there's nothing too exciting. Just enlarged the hole in the firewall right there, so I could get all of the harness for the Holley EFI through. They say to do a 2-inch hole, and well, I had a 2 1/8 inch hole saw, so did that, and it was still a close one getting all the stuff through there. They say you can put the ECU under the hood somewhere, but as much as I paid for it, I'm gonna put it inside to keep it out of the weather more. And then they're loosely ran, like this needs to go to the transmission, but I just got it kind of going. Now, counting down now. I did hook up like the fuel, the water temp, and the oil, and then I also have the these smaller wires here are the ones for the oil and coolant temperature for the Dakota digital setup. And then this big harness going basically to that and all the sensors on it. I still need to put the O2 sensor in, but since I spilled ATF everywhere getting the transmission out and all that, I'm gonna wait to weld it in until that gets cleaned up a little better. And then these two plugs here are actually, like, that one says the tap and this one has like output, so I can actually use this one, which is what I'm planning to do, one of the pins on there, to control the electric fans. So instead of having to use a temp switch, I can actually adjust the temperatures when I want them off and on by the Holley ECU with its temperature sender. And then the only other wire is, well, it's way down here currently, but it's the main power for the ECU. And then on the inside, I should probably bring the light. Just kind of have everything dangling right there for now. Wanting to clean it up and make it look a lot nicer. But I need to take like the vent cables here, I need to take them out so it's easier to work in there, and then figure out where exactly I'm actually going to put the ECU. Eventually I'd like to get rid of that and do like a vintage air or something. So maybe I should see its footprint. Oh, there's actually some glove box left in there. I thought it was all, whatever, all the cardboard had gone away. So I'm thinking the ECU is going to end up in here somewhere. I'd like to have it up high enough. There we go. I'd like to have it up in there high enough that you can't see it. And we got some room up there. I'm just gonna have to build a mounting plate of some sort. And then all these relays and fuses and crap too, which I don't like how there's gonna be a fuse stuffed up under the dash that's separate or that one, so I don't know. Things that have me second guessing the whole EFI setup, but I liked how simple it was before, but this is not just the connections so much. I mean, there's a decent amount of them. Like, this is part of the transmission harness, and they've all got to be hooked to stuff, but it's really only 4 wires, and one of them's for like the unhook the torque converter, and you got power and ground, and then switch power. That's all you got to hook up to that one. But it's just a lot more. Oh, and they say that the switched power for the transmission harness there, even though they're even in the Holley harnesses is the same color wires, they say not to hook them up to the same spot because the transmission can backfeed and then your engine won't shut off. Which I shouldn't have that problem because I don't have the computer controlling my ignition. Or maybe just the Terminator itself might not shut off. I don't know. I have to dig into all that as we go, and like it'll get cleaner in here as wires actually go to where they need to go. Like, I think that green one's supposed to go to the fuel pump relay. The yellow ones, they're supposed to go to the tack output, so it knows, you know, your RPM and such. And then I don't remember what the white or the black one there does. I'm guessing the black's probably ground. Oh, the white was if you have a different ignition system, so I'm gonna probably be wrapping that one up for now, because eventually I would like to switch to like an MSD distributor, as long as I don't have to use like a 6AL box or something like that. If I can just plunk it in there and put a coil on it and run that, and then have the ECU control the timing, I'd like to do that, and that's what the white wire's for. But with all the instructions, what I read through, any aftermarket distributor that you get, you have to run some kind of ignition box. Unless you get the GM small cap HEI, which they never made for these. So I need to dig in that a little more. Probably gonna have to call them and talk to them on that one. Because if I can get an MSD distributor for this, and if I can get that and just plug it in, then use that white wire, and then it can, I'll just have to add a coil, and then it can control the ignition. I think I'd like to do that. Then I can see what it is and everything and keep it there. I guess I could just get a timing light, but yeah, it's basically it for now. Alright, we're gonna end it here. I thought this was gonna end up to be a shorter video, but it turned up being over an hour, so I'm gonna break it up in segments because, well, I'm nobody's garage, so nobody's gonna watch me for 3 hours. Next week, do them weekly as much as I can, and thanks for watching. Please subscribe and comment.